Hi, everybody. I'm so excited to be here with you all. It's been a long-term dream of mine to be able to work with groups and also to use the kinesiology that I've trained in to work with groups as well. So I wanted to introduce the Creative Kinesiology School and the way we work for those of you that have never worked with me in this way, and also explain how we're going to work as a group together. So to start with, kinesiology is the art of muscle testing. So if I was in person with you, we were having a session, I would be muscle testing your arm for a yes and a no and seeing how different concepts or emotions or goals affect your body when you say them. So for example, I want to be visible or I'm willing to be visible probably would switch you off at this point. So then we work to find out what needs to be done with all the tools available to find out how to shift that into I am able and willing to be visible. So I'll explain how we do that. And so just bear with me because there's quite a lot of things to show you and explain just so that you get a good idea of how we're going to work. So the Creative Kinesiology School that I've trained in is amazing. It is very multi-dimensional and multi-layered. It really feels like all the information we have available to us gives a real 360 view of the person, including the spiritual, energetic, emotional, mental, physical aspects. And I'm going to show you how that works. But most kinesiology schools base a lot of their work around something a bit like this. It's called Touch for Health, and it's all to do with the meridians and how they work in the body. So if we use the body to anchor change. So if we change something, process something emotionally, mentally, and consciously, it doesn't mean necessarily that our body has shifted with us. The body doesn't lie and also holds information and memories. So if there's been a traumatic event, say you were bullied at school or just something that was tough, the body is going to remember that and possibly constrict and hold so that it can protect you from happening again. But years down the line, that thing, being bullied at school, is not happening anymore. But why is your body reacting like it is? So that's where the magic of kinesiology comes in, is that we can tap in to the body system and find out where that blockage is and find a way of dissolving it. So I'll show you an example. Each meridian is a line that runs through the body, and there are corresponding muscles that we can check to see how that is functioning. And each of these meridians sort of holds a different aspect or way of how we function. So for example, the spleen is often seen as having faith in the future, being able to have a good, hopeful sense of faith in the future. And if that spleen meridian is switched off, there's probably a feeling of hopelessness or that the future is bleak. So there's a lot of information. It's ancient Chinese knowledge as well as modern knowledge as, integrated to create a very robust sense of how the body works and how energy works. So for example, let's just say, I've opened the spleen page, but there's the spleen meridian, really nice guy in shorts, but here's the spleen meridian. And there are different ways of testing how that's functioning. We might not do a lot of that kind of thing because we're a group and it's a bit tough to get everyone to do it. But there's ways of checking how that's functioning. And then there's different muscles that correspond to it and different alarm points and different neurolymphatic and neurovascular. Like here's the neurovascular point. Here is the neurolymphatic points. So we will use different techniques to help balance and bring back a sense of wellness to all the meridians. So that doesn't mean that your fear of visibility lives in your spleen meridian necessarily, but we're using something that we found, an energetic or emotional concept. We're finding a body part to anchor that change in. So it'll become clearer as we start working. But everything is linked to the physical body in the end, because that's where the power of transformation lies. If you only change the energy, it might not integrate over time and the old pattern kind of resurfaces. Another aspect of the creative kinesiology work is that, so this is like me letting your body and your system know how much information is available to you during these sessions. The creative kinesiology school has about at least 80 that I have available, 80 different techniques or balances that we can use. And I have them, the book's falling apart a bit, but all of these are separate techniques that we use. I will be accessing these files on my laptop because it's the fastest way, because each line is linked to the page, so I can easily click on it. So you'll see me occasionally like reach for the computer and find what we need to know next and where we're going next. But these techniques are from, information about how the brain works, how the gut works, how cells work. It's linking into the 5 elements and the emotions. We have emotions charts that are so useful, and we'll be looking at. We might end up working with the diaphragm. We might end up releasing old limiting beliefs from the body, all using all these different techniques. There's so much that I can't even go into it all, but it's amazing and often so spot on that it's a bit like surprising even to me now after all these years. So we have 80 different techniques from all sorts of modalities. And we're also recognized by the British medical alternative medical, I can't remember what it's called now. It's like the British Alternative Medicine Association. So we're not just kinesiologists, we're actually recognized as a complementary therapy. And the next amazing resource we have is called the File, Manual of Files. And this whole book is individual pages which give a huge and whole 360-degree picture of the human experience. And each page in here is like a medicine in itself. And each page has 31 items. And our systems will point us in the right direction and say, we need more information, or we need some support, or we need a clue about what's going on. And we might end up at a page. I'll just find something that makes sense. Pitfalls, for example. These are common pitfalls that people fall into. And this is a way of us getting a clue about what's going on. So, for example, we're going to find a pitfall in our common energy, common thread that we're all falling into often. And in doing that, we're going, where is that in the system? Oh, it's held in the subtle energies of the aura, or it's held in a particular body part. And we then go and open a window and go, oh, it's about pitfalls in this area. And then we open another window and it's going to be about, it says self-poisoning, for example, self-sabotage or certain unhealthy habits. So we keep opening windows and going deeper and deeper into what is happening in the system. This file is absolutely wonderful. So we'll be using this, if it comes up, to go deeper into what it is that is happening for us as a group. And on top of that, we have a lot of vibrational essences. Let me show you. That look like that. So essences that have been made lovingly in a sacred manner. So obviously you guys can't take the vibrational essence, but I could for the group. And each one is holding a vibration, an energy signature, a supporting energy, or holds a clue about what we need to do as a group. We also have available to us lots of cards. I don't use them. There's a mixture of oracle and tarot and just different kinds of cards. And I don't use them like tarot cards or anything like that. What I'm using them is for clues or information or support. So I might have to muscle check for one of these cards to find out what we're doing next or what the theme is. So that, in a nutshell, is the creative kinesiology resources. And the process of a session is, first of all, let's say it was just individually, if you were having a one-to-one with me. The first like 10 minutes, 15 minutes is an opportunity for you to let out everything that's going on. And I would be writing notes. So I'll be writing notes when the group is talking about what you're saying. And that becomes like a map that we can refer back to and muscle test back to about what the relevant next step is, what the optimal next best step is for us. So I will be taking notes. And then the art part is getting together all that's been said and finding the best, most optimal goal or statement for us to walk towards. So it's very goal orientated in a session. So a statement might be, it's safe for me to be visible. Just that's a good example. It's safe for me to be visible. And then we muscle check what happens when you say that. And at this stage, I imagine it would be switched off. And once we have this goal or several goals, and you've said it out loud, we then check what happens to your system when it's been said. So how does feeling unsafe when visible affect your body? So we will check. This is where it might sound a bit like gobbledygook, because I'm going to run through diagnostics, basically. I'm checking the realms that this is affecting you in. So I'm checking the physical, emotional, nutritional, the environment and the nutrition, emotional, mental, spirit and energy, the magical realm and the dream realm. The magical realm is kind of where our gifts and talents and powers live. And the dream realm is the purpose and the dream that you came into this life with. So we're looking at all these different realms and we're seeing which ones switch off when you say, it's safe for me to be visible. And then we're checking the thymus, which is feeling good about life. It's a place where the hormone of feeling good comes from. It might be switched off. Then we're checking the vital force, the vital energy. Is the amount of energy that you have available to you or that you're using. If it's at 20% because of the fear of visibility, that means you're only using 20% of your potential. So then we're checking the energy field, the vital body. We're checking, are you connected to your energy? And does it translate? Does your energy and your message and your signature translate into the world around you? And it might be switching off at different levels. Then we're checking the immune system and immune response. Immune system is not necessarily your ability to fight off germs, but it's also your ability to deal with incoming information and threats or setbacks, for example. So it's a bit like your boundaries and your resilience. So we're checking that. Then we're checking the nervous system. And we're going to check if we're in a triggered response. Is the nervous system collapsed or triggered? Fright, flight, freeze. Then we're checking the deeper nervous system. This is the nervous system that connects us to all humanity's nervous system. So at the moment, with what's going on in the world, everyone's deeper nervous system is kind of triggered and a bit scared and worried. And when that is switched off, it can have a huge impact on how you see, like your ability to, your perspective and sense of reality might be colored and tinted, not rose tinted glasses. It's almost like you're seeing through a hazy, bad, negative view of what you're seeing. It also can affect your ability to express yourself and to speak, but it's like a deep immobilization of this deeper nervous system. So we find ways to untrigger that. Then we're also checking that if this I'm safe to be visible is also affecting the ancestral, it's coming from an ancestral, we call it ancestral jing, but it's checking if this is an ancestral imprint, an ancestral shadow, an ancestral gift that's not being used. Then we're doing the same for the spiritual jing, which is almost like the evolution of your consciousness, not necessarily ancestral genetic line, but like the evolution and the lineage of your consciousness and spirit. And then we're checking the healing capacity. Are we in a state to actually do a session and integrate changes? So we might have to do something about that before we even start. And then we're also, so it's quite robust, but it goes very quick because I just rattle through it. We're also checking the the three brains: the head brain, the heart brain, and the gut brain. The conscious, subconscious, unconscious. And that's also very indicative of where this problem is lying and at what level it's operating. Then we're also checking something called switching. So you'll see me put my hands out, cross them up, so you can't really see, cross them over and check them again. And it's testing if we are aligned in our center. Are we grounded? Are we connected? Is our left-right brain functioning? Is the masculine, feminine in balance? Is there a mind-body connection? So it's like about, are we in the center of our bubble? So then we have a list of the diagnostics, what's happening to our system, and it will tell us a lot about, how visibility is affecting us as a collective. So then we find the priorities. What is the priority to go through here? And then that's when we start looking for clues and information and about what's happening and where, and what technique is needed to balance it. So then we'll go into balancing. You might have to rub some points to switch on your spleen or your heart meridian or something, or there's other techniques we might use to shift through what's happening. There'll be moments where we close our eyes and just really feel what's going on, and there'll be opportunities for you to feedback when appropriate. So that, in a nutshell, is what happens during a session. At the end, in the last few minutes, we track backwards. We check, has what we, all the things we've done to help balance what's happening, have we improved all our diagnostics and, vital signs? So we go through that list again, and if there's anything else that needs tweaking or checking or adding, then we'll quickly do something. And then at the very end, we check the statement. It's safe for me to be visible. So your fear might be so strong of visibility that you'll be like, how is it even possible that I feel my body's saying it's safe to be visible, but my mind's not in check? But give it time after the session, take a walk, have a nap, whatever it takes. There might be some homework, like some points to rub a few times a day for the following days to help integrate what's happened. And sometimes integration periods can be very long, like the whole unfolding of what we've done and created and the shift in us might take a few weeks for it to ripple out into all the layers of our beings and all the cycles and cogs of how we function. So be patient with yourself. So now I have to just introduce how we're going to work as a group. So working as a group is a bit innovative, it's a bit unique, and that's why I don't call what I do creative kinesiology anymore, and I've called it my own thing, which is LEAP kinesiology: love, evolve, align, and purpose kinesiology. So I'm a bit of a renegade in that way. I have done this sort of thing before, this group healing stuff, but I just need to communicate with you a few safety and a few guidelines so that we can make the most of it. Because we are so far 11 people, it's quite a large number of people's energy to hold. So when we enter into the group setting, it'd be really important to not have any distractions, be able to close the door, put earphones on and really focus, because any outside noise could have a negative impact on my ability to hold the group, or if other people are running around, or if you're outside or something. So please just try and be somewhere quiet and ready to focus, because in a way we're all streaming our energy around visibility, not our whole beings or our spirit or anything, but just these common threads and themes. We're swimming them kind of together, and I'm going to tap in to read and help feed back to you all what we're going to do, and what needs shifting and what's common to us all. So this isn't really an opportunity to bring in all of our personal, deeply personal stories, like the ins and outs of, the situations that happened. Maybe one of us, the muscle testing might say, please, can you, one person, share what happened to you in that state? Because maybe it'll activate or help us understand something as a group. But other than that, it's important that we come in knowing just to be succinct and to be respectful of the group energy. So the first part of our sessions as a group, there'll be about half an hour for each of us to say a couple of minutes of what's going on. I'll give you prompts and you'll know what it is that you need to say. I'll take notes, And then I'll take a few minutes to come up with a group goal that we'll agree on, or not. You can say that's not quite right. I've thought of a way that we can speed up the communication rather than everyone coming on and off of mute in the Zoom room, is some hand signals back from my activist days. So I would like you to maybe note down 4 hand gestures that is going to help us, for me to be able to see where everyone is at. And also to know if when everyone's talking, that others feel the same. So it's going to make us feel closer. So the first one is, I resonate with that. Like, me too is this. I agree. Me too. I've felt that before. So if someone's speaking, you can do that to say, oh, I have that experience as well. If you have felt that everyone in the group has already said, let's say you're the 8th person to speak and everyone's already kind of mentioned the same things as you, just say, yeah, I feel very similar to A, B, and C. That means we can speed up that first initial sharing bit. If you really feel the need to speak, then please do. The second hand gesture is, whoa, a lot's coming up for me. I'm tearful. I'm processing. Something's happening. So I just want you to do that. Just briefly, don't hold your face up to hide your face. Maybe just don't hide your face. Just do something like that. Just so that I'm aware that there's something happening for you and that we can all just slow down and let it emerge and move and shift. It's important to know that when we open a kinesiology session, it's a sacred space, and it is very normal to come in and out of tiredness, to feel waves of energies or feel sick to the stomach. It's absolutely normal, and it means stuff is emerging and willing to be moved or to be seen. So sometimes the muscle testing might go all funny on my end, and I'll tell everyone to slow. We're just going to take a few minutes to breathe, because when we're delving into self-defenses, security, safety, it's very easy for a pattern that's tried to keep you alive, like not speak forever. If we're getting too close to it, it might freak out and be like, don't look. So we have to go slowly, and we are just going to go as slow and as gentle as possible. So that's the hand gesture for I'm processing, I'm tearful, because there's going to be so many little pictures that I might not see it. I'll try, but if I don't, please just do that. The second one is, I'm going to ask often, how was that for you? And how are you all feeling? Did that shift? I want you to say, like, thumbs up. That was good. It feels like it's shifted. It's done. It's moved through. And I want you to do like a, not quite yet sign to let me know that we need a bit more time or something else needs to come. So I hope that you've caught that. That's I resonate, I agree, I'm processing, thumbs up, that was awesome, it's moved, or I need something that's not quite done. And obviously, I'm not saying, I'm very welcome for you guys to interrupt and jump in and go, there's something happening, or I need to share. That's totally doable. But if all 11 of us were doing that constantly, it might be a bit hard to get through the session. So this is, it's going to be powerful and amazing. And yeah, just come with respect and humility, and have some patience for yourself and for working in like a group energy. And I can't think if there's anything else. I took some notes. Okay, I think that's everything for now. It's probably long enough as well. So I look forward to doing these sessions with you. Reach out if you want to do more personal sessions around your personal story and journey. Like if you want to add to the program, just let me know. There's 20% discount for anyone on this course during, if you book it during this course. And thank you so much for showing up. I can't wait to work in this way. See you later.